Hey guys, my name is Devontae and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. So I just got finished watching the WRESTLENOMICS video. Shout out to those guys. More in particular, shout out to Brandon Thurst. This dude, he's the only guy that I go to in regards to breakdown of numbers and ratings and viewerships and all this kinds of stuff whenever I need a clear-cut analysis of who won, who lost, what's going on in regards to payment towards advertisers and all that other kind of shebang. I've been following this guy for years in order to get my information, and he just got finished talking about it on his stream. As a matter of fact, it's still ongoing as I'm making this video. I'll leave a link down in the description box if you want to go check it out, if you want source material in regards to how did I come up with this, or how did I come up with the ideas and all this other kind of stuff. Link in the description box down below. I also have a link down also to his Twitter page. Both of those I did on purpose. I didn't want to link his Twitter on both occasions. I want to link his YouTube channel and I wanted to link his Twitter page so you can follow both of them if you want to keep up with this kind of stuff. If you don't know how or you don't know where you get the numbers from, it's mainly this guy. Everybody kind of, they take stuff from this guy. He's like the Dave Meltzer of numbers, if you will. But yeah, he just reported on this, and as you can see, well, actually, no, I didn't put it in the title, did I? I'm not going to put it in the title, though. NXT, you know what? I will say this, though. Let's just come out with the numbers, and I'll talk about this afterwards. NXT's viewership number, let's start with AEW's. AEW's viewership number for this week, their rating was a 0.26, and their actual viewership number, get this, 609,000 views. NXT's viewership numbers and ratings, their rating was a 0.30, and their viewership, 921,000 fans. Not only did NXT beat AEW, they absolutely annihilated AEW. They completely mopped the floor with AEW. Now, to be fair, what I do want to do also before I start going more in deep into this, just to be fair, because if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong about this, I think Edge's video is still currently the highest viewed video out of both nights in regards to segments. Let me go straight to Taker. Yeah, like Taker, I'm pretty sure he had the most views. I'm looking through all this. Yeah, his segment had the most views. As of this recording, the YouTube numbers for Taker, which is the highest segment on NXT, was 577,000 fans who tuned into that. And for AEW, I'm gonna tell you that right now. Hang on. Just to kind of have a little bit of a clear up. Hang on. Guys didn't probably hear that botch I just did right there. He's at 800K views with his in-ring debut with Luchasaurus. So just to be fair, as far as internet is concerned, but in my opinion, also from what I'm looking at, it looks like NXT kind of takes it in regards to the Twitter analytics also. From what I'm seeing, all the videos that I'm seeing, it looks like NXT overall has more views than AEW on the social media side also. I think the highest segment of the week is Edge in regards to his, but in regards to social media and in regards to television, now NXT destroyed AEW. They absolutely fucking annihilated AEW. But to be fair, let's give a little bit of a caveat, okay? I did this 2 years ago when talking about SmackDown and AEW, when people like to take numbers and then misconstrue and say, well, AEW destroys SmackDown. See, I can be that kind of guy and not give caveats and just lie and just, take the narrative and run with it and say that NXT completely annihilated them because AEW sucks. No, I'm not going to do that. This is not their night. Tuesday was not AEW's night. That is something that you have to take into context. There are a lot of fans who probably did not know NXT was going to be on that night. Their average viewership number is around 800,000 fans, like somewhere around 800 to 850,000 fans. It's their regular viewership number, right? I find it very hard to believe that they dropped nearly 2,000, well, actually more than 2,000 views from their usual average viewership number, especially with Edge being on the card. Now, you can probably counter that by saying, well, AEW's been promoting the shit out of all this, the buy-in show and all this other kind of stuff. They should have known. Like, unless you live under a rock. Not 200,000 fans don't live under a rock. They decided to choose NXT over AEW. And for fans who want to come and be like, well, they loaded the show. NXT, that is. Well, two things. One, AEW supposedly has stars also. They have Bryan Danielson. They have Edge. they have stars. Maybe not big enough than John Cena or The Undertaker, but they have stars. Not to mention, they had their bigger stars promoted on a consistent basis when they went up against NXT in 2021. They had CM Punk. They had Bryan Danielson. There's no excuse to that. While what, AEW or NXT at the time had who at the time? What? I can't even think of a large star at the time that AEW had in comparison to who they have. Finn Balor is probably like the biggest star at that time that they had. It's not comparison. You can't be a hypocrite or having double standards about this. It's just facts. NXT had a product that was worth watching compared to AEW. I heard, I can't remember who said it, but I remember, I think it was somebody on one of these wrestling journalist websites made note of the fact earlier this week that somebody backstage, I don't know if they named anybody, said that they were going to make an example out of AEW, show them why they're not one of the, like, pretty much bring them out of Fantasyland, because AEW has this particular way of thinking about itself being the industry leader, and, you know, this guy was that we're going to show them why they're nowhere near close to our league. Well, they did. They absolutely did. WWE completely and utterly fucking annihilated them, just destroyed them. But let's have a little bit of fun here, because I am curious. I got this down in the description box below also. Again, follow Brendan Thurston, follow WRESTLENOMICS. Again, I love this shit personally, and I feel like if you liked it too, you know, this is the guy that you want to follow. Let me go back to his Twitter page for a second, because he actually has a breakdown as far as the quarterly is considered of each segment versus each segment. Hang on for a second, guys. I'm going to tell you this right now. Here, I'm going to click on this. Zoom in. Yeah, he has a quarterly to let you know which segment won against each segment. It doesn't tell you which one won or which one had a higher viewership number at that time. But let's see. The Cody Rhodes promo early on was stacked up against Christian's promo. So you have the Cody Rhodes promo with, Ilya Dragunov and Dominic Mysterio. That was going head to head with Christian's opening segment and Bryan Danielson's and Swerve Strickland's segment, right? The Asuka and Roxanne Perez match in the 6-man tag match with Tyler Bate and Butch and Ridge Holland versus Gallus, that went up ahead against the latter portions of the Daniel Bryan and Swerve Strickland match, and then it went into the Chris Jericho and Powerhouse Hobbs match. The Gallus match, and a little bit of the Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyrie vignette, that went up against the latter portions of Jericho and Hobbs, and then it went into the Adam Cole, Roderick Strong, and the Kingdom promo that they were doing in Orange Cassidy's first half of this match with Rey Fenix. Then you had John Cena and Braun Breaker, and their promo went up ahead against the latter portions of Phoenix and Cassidy, which led into the Tony Storm vignette, which led into Wardlow and Evan Bourne's match, which led into Jericho and Garcia having their backstage segment, and then that went into Jay White versus Adam Page, right? Then you had D'Angelo, the Cody Rhodes backstage segment with the D'Angelo Cat and his partner, Baron Corbin's promo, Dominic Mysterio and Ilya Dragunov for the NXT Championship. That went up against the latter portions of Jay White versus Adam Page into the post-match with the MJF quarter promo. And then you had the last 3 minutes of the Dragunov match with, the NXT Championship match. John Cena and Trick Williams and, Carmelo Hayes promo. Jade Cargill coming to the arena. Cody and Baron Corbin backstage. Dominic and all those guys pretty much having their time with Nathan Frazier. And the Lola Vice match, the little women's breakout tournament shit, that had to go up against Jay White, the continuation of the Jay White promo. Chase U segment and Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman backstage and Cena and Hayes backstage and all this other kind of stuff, or the Cena, the beginning of the Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker match, that had to go up against Hikaru Shida versus Paige, and then you had a Don Callis and Takeshita match, or the promo backstage. Then you had Asuka and Tiffany Stratton backstage, and Carmelo Hayes continuing off with Braun Breaker. That had to go up against MJF, the Acclaim and their little gay backstage promo. And then Christian Cage had a promo also, and then that led into the Luchasaurus and Edge match. And then you had obviously Hayes and Breaker and the post-match stuff with Undertaker going head up against Edge and Luchasaurus and their post-match stuff with all the chaos that broke out directly after that match. Now, looking at all this stuff, we're going to actually take a little bit of a tally, personally, and I'm going to tell you, now that we see both of these, I'm going to tell you which show I personally felt was better, NXT or AEW, as far as which segment did I appreciate better, and then we'll just tally it up, right? So personally speaking, looking at the Cody Rhodes promo versus the Christian promo and Bryan Danielson's first Strickland, I thought that was better. AEW takes the tally on that. I think the Christian promo in the opener and Danielson and Swerve Strickland going up against Cody Rhodes' little announcements, I thought they had the better segment personally. Asuka and Roxanne Perez in the 6-man tag match going up against Jericho and Powerhouse Hobbs, essentially. Obviously NXT takes that because Jericho and Powerhouse Hobbs sucked. Continuation with the 6-man tag match, so we can tally that off. Okay, so that's good right there. So 1-1 for AEW and NXT. Of the John Cena and Braun Breaker promo having to go up against Phoenix and Cassidy and Warlow in a squash match, and then I won't put Jay White here, that'll be on the next segment. I'll give that to NXT. John Cena and Braun Breaker had a funner, I mean, I thought it was kind of boring, but that was better than what AEW had on at the time. So it's 2 NXT, 1 AEW. Let's see. Then you have Ilya Dragunov essentially going up against Jay White. The NXT Championship match with, you know, Jay White and Adam Page going up against the NXT Championship match. Which match did I find better, including the post-match stuff? I personally thought Jay White and Adam Page had a better match than Dominic Mysterio and Ilya Dragunov. Not to mention the post-match stuff with MJF, as fucking tasteless as it had, as tasteless, easy for me to say, as it may have been. I thought they had a better segment. So far we're 2-2 between AEW and NXT. Then you have the, let's see, the backstage stuff. Okay, no, we're not gonna do that. Chase U segment, no. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention Brian Pillman changing his name to his sister's name and his dad's name combined. Let's see. So, okay, we'll do this. Hikaru Shida and Saraya versus the Breakout Tournament match. I mean, neither one I gave a shit about, but, you know, going back, I guess Hikaru Shida and Paige will have the better match, most likely. So, 3 AEW, 2 NXT. Then, if you want to really be, you know, if you really want to be that person, we could compare the ad breaks between MJF and the Acclaim, and then Christian doing a promo again, going up against the last portions of the segments with Cena, or with Tiffany Stratton and all that stuff, and then the Chase U segment. Obviously, I'm going to give that to probably, let's see. The Acclaim promo was so gay, though, man. That was really, really lame. And I kind of did like how Baron Corbin came out, and then, like, you know, that kind of led into the beatdown with Flapjack and all that other kind of stuff. I'll give that to NXT, honestly. So, okay, wow, look at that. We're 3-3. NXT and AEW, as far as I'm concerned with the segments, are 3-3. So then that brings us to the tiebreaker, which is kind of fun. I didn't do that. I swear to God on my mom, I did not do that on purpose. I swear to God I didn't do that on purpose. Wow, okay, so we have a tiebreaker, which is, I guess, essentially Edge versus Luchasaurus and Braun Breaker versus Carmelo Hayes. Who had the better match and who had the best post segment? Which I guess we're going to say is Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. And then you had Undertaker come out to confront Braun Breaker versus Edge and Luchasaurus, and then all the stuff that broke out after Edge and Luchasaurus match. This is the tiebreaker, and if you want my honest opinion, who had a better segment and who had a better match? This is just my personal opinion. I think Edge and Luchasaurus had a better match. Now, as far as the stuff that happened afterwards, to be perfectly honest with you, it's Undertaker and Braun Breaker versus the chaos that broke out after Edge and Christian. I'll take the Edge and Christian stuff that broke out afterwards over Taker and Braun Breaker. So I guess looking at it on a point-to-point scale, if I was a judge, personally, I know that AEW officially lost against NXT, but in my opinion, who had the better show overall? My personal opinion, people can get upset if they want to in the comment section, I think Dynamite had the better show last night. That's just my personal opinion. Again, don't shoot the messenger. Do not shoot the messenger. Okay, well, I am more than a messenger, but that's just my own personal opinion. But let me know how you guys felt in the comment section below in regards to this whole sequence of events that just took part. This was actually really lame, because in reality, both shows actually sucked humongous baby dick. Being honest with you, I did not like either show. I'm just comparing it, and I'm telling you which show I liked the better out of both. But the performance from both shows, neither one of them hitting 1 million. Maybe on the overrun, I'm pretty sure NXT hit over 1 million, but I mean just live attendance wise, even with the overrun, like, I'm not talking about DVR, I'm talking about overrun in regards. That's disappointing for both shows. You have The Undertaker and John Cena on NXT and you couldn't hit over 1 million live. It's kind of pathetic. It's kind of pathetic when you think about it, honestly. But I get it. It's NXT in the end of the day, and no one watches NXT. But if that's going to be the caveat, then you have to give the same caveat to AEW and say that they weren't really in their right night. So what is it going to be? Either WWE, no one watches NXT for the most part, so pretty much no one was really prepared to see Taker and John Cena there, even with the advertising. I mean, if that's going to be the excuse, then you have to give the same caveat to AEW. Fair is fair. And to be perfectly honest with you, Tony Khan, stop running your fucking mouth. Stop putting your foot in your fucking mouth. You talk so much shit. And look, you got destroyed. You got fucking annihilated by NXT. That's the way it is. No matter how I feel, the numbers speak for themselves. And you ran your mouth and you talked a lot of shit, and WWE showed you again you're not in their league. What this tells me more importantly is that it's not just the stars, it's the story, man. And this goes all the way back to WCW and WWE. WCW had all the stars. They had Hogan, they had Savage, they had Perfect, they had Brett, they had all the guys going into 1998. And they still ended up losing because WWE just had a better story. They took a mid-carder in WCW in Austin and put him on television and gave him a decent story, and look what happened. The Attitude Era exploded. It's not just about the stars. The stars is definitely a major point, but in the end of the day, the number one thing is whether or not you have a healthy story. And in the end of the day, AEW just don't have healthy stories at the moment besides Edge and Christian. If it wasn't for Edge and Christian, they would have lost tonight, in my opinion, from my own personal perspective. Anything else in that main event that wasn't Edge and Christian, I'm sorry, NXT would have probably won. It just goes to show you there are more to just having stars. It's about the story. And if Edge was shown up and down this card with that story, I guarantee you they would have probably done better viewers. That's just my opinion, though. Probably wouldn't have beaten WWE still, but they would have probably done better views. But let me know your comments and discussion down in the comment section below. As always, my name is Devontae, and don't ask me to do this ever again, because I absolutely won't. Deuces, P. Eyes.